Andy did try to defend the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Basically said it was a pandemic and we had to start over 4 or 5 times, 4 or 7 times to restart. And it was very hard to get the momentum going. So Andy knows it's failing. What's up, Peep Squad? Peep Squad is in the building, baby. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. My peeps, my peoples, Peep Squad. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. She is feeling a certain type of way about Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it also feels like Wendy doesn't think the franchise is going to survive because she did try out for the Miami Real Housewives and she basically changed her mind. And then she told Andy how she felt about the situation and asking Andy if he's going to shake up the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was like, ooh. And Wendy also said, Real Housewives of Atlanta, some of it was just too much. She had to change the channel. And I know Andy did not want to hear that because, as we all know, the ratings over there at Real Housewives of Atlanta is very low. And I know Andy felt like he was in an ambush because Wendy Williams was talking about his shoes too as well. She was like, oh my God, them shoes look a little worn, Andy, them shoes look a little worn. What's going on with your shoes? He goes, I just haven't had them polished. I know they're very expensive, but he knew the shoe cam was going to be on. Is he trying to tell people that he ain't got no money? That's why he's working so hard and have so many different shows. He got more shows in the cast, that he runs and produces with the Real Housewives, period. Like, what's going on, Andy? You are busy bee. Like, what's good? Anyways, let's move on to the situation. Wendy Williams better leave NBA YoungBoy alone. She better just stop talking about him and leave him alone. But he called off the wolves on Wendy Williams because basically he complimented Wendy Williams and said that she was a nice lady and she's a pretty lady. So I was like, what's going on? And he said that she better count her blessings. Wendy, you better listen to the young man. He said, count your blessings, baby. So we get into the situation of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, it seems like Wendy wasn't really feeling the situation. Like she wasn't feeling Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she has made it clear that she hasn't really been watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta for the past few months. So you guys let me know what you think about that situation. We find out that Wendy Williams was hanging out with Karen, from Real Housewives of Potomac and Ray. And Wendy Williams brought her date Mike. But in any event, I know Wendy Williams got some tea from Miss Karen Huger. I wonder if Karen Huger told Wendy about Giselle allegedly burning down there between the legs. Like, Lord have mercy, what's going on with that situation? Well, if Wendy talks about it, we know exactly where she got it from. So you guys let me know what you think about the situation. So Wendy, is chilling, having a good time with Karen Huger. I was like, that used to be, NeNe Leakes' position. What's going on, Wendy? Are you missing Miss NeNe Leakes? What's happening? And let's not forget, Andy can't stop talking about Bolo. Bolo should have a peach. He should be a peach holder for real, for real. Give him his shot too. But I believe 2021 is the year for Bolo because he is being mentioned on TV once a week or maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, but he is getting it in. And let's talk about Cynthia Bailey. Wendy Williams loves her some Cynthia Bailey, and she apologized for saying that Cynthia Bailey is, boring. But Cynthia Bailey has been out here in these streets on her Instagram basically posting messages that seem very sad and down, like like something's going on, like she gonna be walking away from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, what's going on? And now you have Miss Wendy Williams bigging up Cynthia Bailey, so that's good. Hopefully Cynthia Bailey sees another season because you know what, I like Cynthia Bailey and I think she served her purpose, and also she's like a crossover star. She crosses over to all audience. People really dig Cynthia Bailey. So you guys let me know what you think about that situation. And Andy started to talk about the bachelorette party because Wendy was like, yo, it's too much over there at the bachelorette party, too much be going on. And Andy basically was like, well, in ATL, the bachelorette party was a real bachelorette party. And he says the ladies are very comfortable with their sexuality, and that's what he loves. They are sex positive. And we know who he is talking about. He's talking about the ladies, talking about Miss Porsha Williams and Miss Kandi Burruss is over there very, very, very comfortable. with their situation. And you know who's a prude? Miss Kenya Moore. So Kenya Moore and Wendy have a lot in common, being prudes at the same damn time. So you guys let me know what you think about that situation. But in any event, Wendy Williams basically said, Wendy says she felt very uncomfortable. So Wendy Williams is basically voicing her opinion that she felt uncomfortable with the Bolo situation, where everything that went down over there with Porsha Williams and, Bolo, Tanya, Sam. She was just very uncomfortable with the ladies, probably the way that they was dressed and what they had on. She said she had to change the channel, baby. And, Wendy Williams has an audience of a certain age. She has a younger audience and an older audience. So if she feels that way, you got to feel that some of her audience felt like it was too much. It was very uncomfortable to watch because, people have their opinions as far as when it comes to be sexy and freaky at home and a lady in the streets. So you guys tell me what you think about that situation. And basically, Andy was like, it was a real legit bachelorette party, that Cynthia had. It was real. It was legit. And so Andy said too much, and Wendy was like, yes, it was too much. I was like, what? And, and Wendy Williams also said to Andy that she felt like she was watching everything that she's seen before. So basically, she's telling Andy the plots, the storylines are used. And basically, she put Andy on a hot seat to tell him that his show ain't shit. Like, damn, Wendy did it very subtly and very nicely. But she was shading. I know Andy was like, damn, I'm sitting here across from you and you're going to be shading me like that? Yes, it is what it is. You know what she did want to say? Where's that NeNe Leakes at? But they ain't speaking and they ain't friends. So you guys tell me what you think about that situation. And then Wendy said that Sidora is not her cup of tea. And she's really not feeling Sidora. She could care less. I was like, damn, Wendy, Sidora was doing good. She had, a little fumble with the situation with Prophet Lot. But other than that, and the gag gift, she is putting in work. She's a contender. To me, I believe she has some things to offer. And as, her first season is over, she's going to change up a lot of things. She's even been online apologizing too. But we going to see. I'm surprised she didn't mention Latoya's name. She didn't say anything about Latoya. Latoya be doing too much, baby. So it is what it is. So it's crazy. And then I was just like, Wendy, why you gotta say that? And then Wendy says, is there going to be a shakeup? Is there a cash shakeup? And Andy's looking like, well, it looked like Andy wanted to say, no, there's not a shakeup, because I think Andy is okay with what was produced, even though, the Real Housewives of Atlanta are not receiving them ratings that they used to receive. They haven't hit 2 million yet. We'll see if they do that for the reunion. But you guys let me know what you think about that situation. Andy just like, we always try to shake things up and looking for a build up. But Andy was kind of like, Wendy, I didn't know you was going to come at me like this. Like, what's happening? And then when Mr. Andy, he was just looking like he had shock on his face. He was like, I can't believe, she's saying this to me. I know. He's like, what? And Wendy did not skip a beat. She rolled her eyes too as well, especially when she got into the situation of talking about Kandi Burruss. She says, I love Kandi Burruss, but she is just too much. She is just too much. And basically, she said Kandi is disgusting. She said Kandi is filthy. She's too comfortable with her sexuality. I was like, damn, Wendy, didn't you used to do it before? Wasn't you out there doing your thing? A little white line, a little freaky here, a little freaky there. But she basically said her freak level is nowhere near where Kandi Burruss' freak level is. And she's basically said it's just too much. And Wendy said she's comfortable with her sexuality, but Kandi is just doing too much. I guess, the ladies in their suits, their lingerie, the panties, the girders, and the bustiers, the bras, the silk material, the color, the leather, the whips was too much. And also the buzzing of the underwears that Cynthia Bailey had, that was just too much for Miss Wendy Williams. She wasn't feeling that way, and it was all Kandi's idea. And then she brought a man there with 10, 12, 15 inches, and Wendy was like, this is disgusting, this is nasty. Like, she said Kandi is filthy. Kandi, she don't call you filthy. Did you ever do anything to Wendy Williams, Kandi? She called you filthy. Like, damn. And Andy was like, oh, so you're a bit of a prude. So I guess, you know, he's calling Wendy a prude, but in any event, so that means, you know, Kenya Moore's a prude too as well. I was like, I guess Bolo was out here really boloing down there, and Wendy was like, oh, Jesus. It was just too much. She felt uncomfortable, but Andy looked very uncomfortable too, because she was basically telling him that he's not really doing his job correctly in a nice way. And I know he felt it, and I know he know that people were watching, so he's feeling a certain type of way. I wondered, did he run home and call everybody up and said, we need to make changes. We got to do something. We really got to shake things up, because who do Wendy think she is? Shading me on my accomplishments. Lord have mercy. I'm just assuming, baby. And Wendy said she changed the channel. I was like, oh, wait. You know, and Andy wanted to get over that situation quick, fast, in a hurry. And Wendy also made it known that I don't want to be a part of your franchise. I don't want to be a part of Real Housewives of Atlanta or Miami or anything. I think she's very disappointed in the season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I think she thinks that they stooped very low, and so she doesn't want any of parts of even being a friend on the show. She made an excuse and said that she's too busy and everything is in New York. When Wendy want to do something, she'll do it. She just basically seeing, you know, the legs fall from under the franchise, because Andy's out here doing new shows. Andy has a new show called Andy Spilled the Tea, and basically he's going to be working with the Kardashians doing their reunion show, and it's going to be on ETV. He got Watch What Happens Live. He got his podcast. He is busy, baby, because if the franchise fall, he wants to make sure he's on solid ground and he can get what he need. So you guys let me know what you think about that situation. Peace and love.